Hey there, fish tubes. It's Friday, April 11, 2025, and I'm checking out a tank that I show fairly often because of the baby cichlids, convict cichlids, and baby guppies, these aren't the flames, these are the red metal lace guppies. But just a quick rundown. A month or so back, I tore this tank down, removed all the hardscape, removed 15 to 20 adult cichlids. This is a 29-gallon tank, so it was kind of a crowded space for them. At the time, I didn't know that there were one or two broods of baby convicts hanging out down under the substrate, and I stirred up quite a bit of stuff. I just didn't see them at the time. So as I was putting the red metal lace gups in here and introducing a bit of plant matter back in, I noticed some little guys that were just a bit bigger than wigglers, and just for size, they're fingertip wide, or the larger of them are fingertip wide, and the smaller ones are not quite that. Zooming. So I've been watching these guys grow out for the last 3 or 4 weeks, hanging out, checking them. There are also small guppies in here. So as the baby guppies drop, I'm trying really hard to give these guys plenty of food. I feed this tank a little more than I do most tanks. It's not really scaped, it's just planted. And I think for how many fish that are in here and for what I'm doing, it's adequately planted. But I'm just specifically enjoying watching this tank because of the fish. Normally I like tanks because of the plants. In this case, it's kind of different. Plants are not all that interesting. There's Elodea densa, hornwort, guppy grass, Nahas guadalupensis. Elodea densa is Brazilian waterweed. That's that thing. It's often sold as anacharis, but there are other plants that also go by that, and that's really an outdated term. It's not really used by biology. It's used by the aquarium hobby. And often plants like hydrilla, which are actually illegal for most trade in the United States, they're on the noxious weed list and consequently somewhat banned. That often goes by the name anacharis, but this plant, Elodea densa or Egeria densa, interchangeable terms. Science actually goes by Egeria, I believe, and Elodea, closely related, is a North American plant with usually about 3 stems per node, or 3 leaflets per node, rather than about 5 or 6. As many as 7 for Brazilian waterweed. Guppy grass just grows like crazy. So this turns into a large mat of plant matter pretty quickly. It does a good job of soaking up water chemistry, fish wastes. There's a little bit of Sesquitertang down there. Hornwort, similarly, another fast-growing stem plant. I often sell these as kind of a 3 plant pack: hornwort, Elodea densa, and Nahas guadalupensis. Because they're somewhat indestructible, they will survive in convict cichlid tanks, which is what I've got going on in a 55-gallon tank in another room. But I think you can see that they grow rather prolifically. A month ago, this was an unplanted tank. Now it's turning into a jungle, and that's great. That is just super great. So it's time to come through, trim some of these taller plants, replant them down in the bottom, and gosh, did that hornwort come? No, it didn't come loose. It just grew that much. So just a few weeks ago, this wasn't there. It was, you know, coming up to about here. And oops, bang the door. That's how we find the cabinet. Find it with our elbow. So I've been trimming, replanting, and I'll just keep doing that until this is just a dense tank that's suitable for guppy fry specifically. But at some point I'm going to have to go through and catch these baby convicts. They're, at least most of them are already claimed, but yeah, they're polar blues, so they were, at some point, they very probably had blue parrot cichlid ancestry mixed into their blood, and then that was crossed back into convict cichlid many times. So polar blue convicts, I should say. That's how those come about, and I just like them. You know, a lot of people think that convicts are just, oh, they're kind of plain, or they're common, or they're thought of as an easy fish, which they are. They're pretty easy to care for, but they've got so much personality. They're just enjoyable. They're also, and most people know that they're prolific breeders, and that is true. If you give them the right conditions, they will make lots of fry for you. But I generally find that that's not a problem, because if you have them in a sizable colony, which usually means you put some convicts in a tank, they breed. That brood grows up, and from then forth, they're going to self-cull. They're not going to be, they're not going to get to this size. The wigglers will be picked off pretty quickly by the larger fish, so not a problem. Guppies, I mean, while they will kind of eat their fry, if you give them some planted space, they're going to be okay. Lots of places for the fry to hide. Otherwise, the red metal lace colony here is doing pretty well. This was 2 different tanks of red metal lace that I combined. They weren't large population tanks, but it was, let's see, 1 nano tank that was like 3 gallons that I adopted from a friend, and then a 5 to 7 gallon tub that I had going. So giving them some more space here in this 29 should definitely help things. And I plan on just breeding them out, and from time to time buying maybe some additional fish to throw in here and you know, mix up the DNA a little bit. But they're doing well. I'm kind of happy. So that's what we got going for today. Let's zoom out. Not an aquascape, just a breeding tank, right? So that's what's going on here. If you guys enjoy this sort of thing, give me a like, subscribe, comment. I will definitely be showing other tanks. Check out lots and lots and lots of other aquarium videos that I've got. I think we're in like the close to 700 videos range. Anyway, if you enjoy this sort of thing, check them out. I'll catch you later.